What, looking back on your television career at CNN, Larry, and I know this is kind of a difficult question, but what would you rank as maybe your top 3 or 4 interviews? And you had so many. I understand that. But what
You're talking about CNN only or
CNN,
my whole career?
Well, your whole career. No, but CNN, but your whole career. Actually, your whole career.
Well, I started in 1957. I started interviewing in 1960. I thought I'd be a sportscaster. I did Dolphin color for 6 years. I did color on the unbeaten season.
That's right.
I was always into sports. I've done over 50,000 interviews, so to pick out some. But if off the top of my head, it would be certainly Frank Sinatra,
right.
6 American presidents, Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, a lot of baseball. There's too many. I can't. If I was grabbed at one, I would say Mandela, partially because he was a great interviewer, and partially because I thought he was the greatest figure of the 20th century.
Wow. Larry, did you know or have a relationship with Howard Cosell? Because he's another guy.
Oh, yeah, I knew Howard very well.
What did you think of him?
When the Radio and Television Museum honored me in New York, Howard was the MC. I really got along well with Howard. He was, I understand what he was doing. I knew the shtick. Howard was shtick, but he was brilliant. His ego was preposterous.
Yeah.
It was preposterous.
Right.
But he was not he was good football, not good baseball. Talked too much for baseball. Talked while the crowd was. The guy would hit a game-winning home run, he'd be talking, trying to out-yell the crowd. But I had a lot of fun with him. Did a lot of interviews with him. I was at a Broadway theater once, and I'm walking down the aisle, and he was there already, and he goes, "Oh, the inimitable Larry King has arrived." For the whole theater, he's yelling this.
That is classic Howard Cosell.
He was tragic at the end. Howard was, at the end, he didn't leave his house. After his wife died, he got really into depression, and he became very angry. Like, he got angry at Bob Costas for some reason. He didn't like Costas. He wouldn't see people he worked with. And I think the last 6 months, I don't think he saw anybody. Something happened to Howard. He hardened, and it was sad to see. I enjoyed Howard, and extemporaneously, I never saw anyone could speak. If you tell Howard, you do 7 minutes ad-lib on this, he would do 7 minutes.
Wow.
He was quite a guy.
When you did the undefeated Miami Dolphins, you were the color man on there. Did you come out? Did you come out for the Super Bowl? Because they stayed here in Long Beach at the Hyatt House on Pacific Coast Highway. Were you with the team?
I was there every day.
Were you really?
They trained in where the Angels played baseball.
That's right, and they stayed here in Long Beach at the Hyatt House.
They sure did.
Yeah. And you were there.
I was there every day.
I must have seen
you. In fact, I got a cute story about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget this. They were unbeaten. They played the Redskins. The Redskins were favored by 3 points in that Super Bowl.
That's right.
Yep.
I had flown to Las Vegas and drove with Jimmy the Greek out to L.A. And I said, "Jimmy, you're out of your mind to make Washington a favorite because I don't think they can lose." And he said, "No, the Redskins play the toughest schedule, etc." The morning of that Super Bowl, I go down to breakfast about 6:30, and there's one guy in the breakfast nook, and it's Bob Greasy, who was about to start that afternoon, who had not played most of that season because he had a broken ankle.
Yeah, Earl Morrall.
I sit down next to Bob Greasy. This is the morning of the Super Bowl, right? And I'm wondering, now, what is going through his mind? This quarterback, injured most of the year, won in the playoffs, undefeated team, playing a team favored, the Super Bowl. It's the morning. And I said, "Good morning, Bob." He said, "Good morning." And he says to me, "Do you think the property values in Key Biscayne can keep going up?" When he said that, if I only knew a bookmaker, I knew there's no way he's losing.
Very nervous.
That contained.
No kidding.
That contained to think about property values in Key Biscayne, you're going to do fine. But I've been lucky in my career that I've been around things. I was with Namath the day he guaranteed he'd win the Super Bowl. I'm lucky enough I was with Clinton the night that Vince Foster killed himself. I don't know what that is. I don't know that that's a talent. I mean, it's just luck. By the way, Paul Newman told me once, any successful person who doesn't use the word luck in discussing their career is a liar.
Amen.
I had a lot of luck.
Were you
I'd be in the right place. Ted Turner had to like me.
Were you in Miami when Bob Halloran was a broadcaster down there? He's a good friend of mine.
Worked at the same station. We both worked at Channel 4.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
I did interviews. Halloran did sports.
Larry, in all the years that you did the TV show with CNN, was there ever anybody that you had in studio that when they left and the interview was over and you said, oh, thank God this guy or this girl's out of here. They were just ridiculous.
Howard Stern.
It was Rock Hudson's former wife. Rock Hudson was married at an early age.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And Phyllis Cates was her name. And they divorced, and then 20 years later, of course, he got AIDS, and she agreed to do our show. So CNN is promoting it all day long. Phyllis Cates, Rock Hudson had a wife, right? You'll meet her tonight. She's never done an interview exclusive, right? We're playing it up. Bam. She sits down. She's a very nice lady. I said, how'd you meet Rock Hudson? She said, well, I was secretary for his agent, and he used to come see his agent, and we went out a few times, got married. We were married about a year. We didn't have any children, and we broke up. I said, okay. Have you been in touch with him in the last 20 years? No, never spoke to him. Do you have any idea about him being gay? Nope, no idea at all. Did you call him when he had AIDS? Nope, didn't call him. Now, I look up at the clock. It's 4 minutes after the hour.
Oh, God.
This lady has nothing to say about Rock Hudson. That was unbelievable. We wound up talking about famous movies.
Oh, jeez.
What kind of popcorn she liked. And it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. She had no interest in Rock Hudson.
Wow. Larry,
that was one of those moments.
You were part of a group. We're speaking with Larry King, of course, here on the McDonnell Douglas Show. Joe McDonnell and Doug Krikorian live at Legends here in Long Beach. You were part of a group, along with Dennis Gilbert and a few others, who were attempting to purchase the Dodgers as well. Obviously, that didn't happen, but, you know, you're a Brooklyn kid, and what would it have meant for you to be a part owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers?
To me, it would have been nice. For my kids, it would have been terrific because they're crazy Dodger fans and they go to all the games. But mostly, it would have been wonderful for Dennis, and that's why I agreed to be part of it. I love Dennis.
Yep.
I think he's the most knowledgeable baseball man. Through him, I met Jerry Reinsdorf, who has become a great friend, who's one of the great owners in sports, owns the Bulls and what?
Joe and Doug live at Legends here on Legends Sports Talk Radio Network. We'll be back.